Hey friends, we have the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. Let's go talk about them. So we had two events going on today. We had training number 3 in the Nordic combined day. But the training, I'm not talking about training, I'm talking like a real events for days 13 of the Milan Cortina Olympics. So in women's round robin, session 7, sheet B. We had 3 sheets, sheet B, sheet D, sheet B, sheet C, sheet D. We had Sweden 6 for Switzerland, Canada 10-5 over China, Great Britain 7-2 over Denmark. Men's slalom run 1, we had alpine skiing day. And it was the first run when alpine skiing was really good conditions for the course, for the competitors. Or really terrible conditions, actually. Run 2 was the better run. Run 1 had the worst conditions. Run 1, the conditions were somewhat good in the beginning, and they really just turned like nothing. Really turned horrible. And then in run 1, like a few of the competitors that went first went, and then some of the top competitors in the world, because of the snow and that, and like the conditions, they all slided, and didn't do well. And then we had 2-man bobsled heat 1. The 1,000 meters women. We had the women's 1,000 meter in short track speed skiing. We had the 500 meter. For the heats for the women in short track. The 5,000 meter relay semifinals for the men. And then we had the 1,000 meter final A. The A final was Zandra Boer from Netherlands with gold. Courtney Sarah Alt from Canada with silver. Gold or bronze was Grilly Kim from Korea. Then men's slalom run 2. The favorite, the leader, went out. JH, the leader, he was leading, and then he just went out in run 2. And there was only 2 runouts in that, and he had the advantage by a good bit because of actually what happened in run 1. So he had like a pretty solid advantage, like over at least half a second advantage. And even if he wasn't he could have been just decently fast, like maybe like fit half a second behind, and still maybe got a medal or on the podium, or at least got gold, and he flew it, and he just and you could see him throwing his skis and throwing his stuff. He was just not happy, and then he was sitting in the snow, just taking a walk like on his own. Jumped over the fence. Is like, wow. I don't blame him, because wow, that's just heartbreaking. When you have it, well, pretty much, even if you just do a decent average run, he knew it too. And then we had Lloyd Mallard from Switzerland with gold, Fabio Geister, sorry for pronouncing these names wrong, and Hent from silver, and the Henrik Kristoffersen from Norway with the bronze. And Austria, Fabio Kristen with the bronze. So let's go to 2-man competition for bobsled. We have 4 heats. We have 4 heats of the 2-man. The luge was first. Then the luge was first. Then it's the skeleton. Then we go to monobob and the 2-man bobsled. And then we're doing the 2-women bobsled and the 4-man. Finally, round out in the last day of competition, the 21st and 22nd, the closing of the ceremony, with the final runs, 2 runs earlier in the day. And then we have after 2 runs, it's J. Lochner and G. Fischhauer. And then we have F. Frederick and A. Scheller, and A. Moore and A. Scheller, A. Scheller, and an A. Moore and A. Scheller from Germany. 3 German sleds. 3 German bobsleds up at the top. And then we have F. Duca and J. Williamson in 4th. They are at minute 51.24. And the first German sled at minute 49.9, minute 50.70 for the second sled. Friedrich and Schiller. And Moore and Scheller, 1 minute 51.14. Mahner and Fischhauer for 1:49.40. And then MC Tentina. And then G. Idroik for 1:51.38 in 5th. And then heats, the men's 500 meter. who's making it? Who advanced? We had W. Dan with, and then T. Boer qualified, and K. Yoshinaga qualified a penalty, advanced on penalty, right? For S. Imisen. So it's a Canadian first, Netherlands second, and third Japan, the one that advanced on penalty. And then the top, and then Heat two qualified. A. Azure Galiv from Kazakhstan, and P. Saijo from in second. And then F, and then there was a penalty but didn't impact the race. And then there's one that qualified in time. S. Du Bois from Canada. W. Moon qualified for top 2 from Hungary, qualified for top 2. And N. Or Nikishia, D. Nikishia from Kazakhstan, qualified third as fast, the third place fastest one. And then S. Liu. And then F from China. And F. Pigeon from Poland, qualified second. And then fifth heat was M. Laon, and then L. Rivalti, and then V. Ors qualified third on the penalty from Turkey, and then Lun S. from China was the penalty. El Sun from China had a penalty on him, and then M. Van Tielp and T. Natalie from Netherlands, and T. Natalie from Italy qualified first, and then J. and the brother J. Van Tielp and from Netherlands, and Ohand from Ukraine qualified, and then D. Ibog qualified advanced penalty from Kimby, and O. Handai had a foul too, but due to this thing, but automatically advanced and qualifying. And then Ahio from the United States and X Lin from China qualified top 2. And then the 5,000 meter relay, the semis. Team Canada qualified for final A, and then Italy qualified for final A. China and Hungary qualified for final B, and then in semifinal 2, third and fourth went to Belgium and Japan for final B, final A, Korea and Netherlands. In the curling, session 8 for the men. Great Norway 7-6 over Great Britain, Canada 8-2 over Czechia, Germany 7-3 over Sweden, and China 11-4 over Italy. And then in the women's semifinal playoffs, it was United States 5-0 over Sweden. In the draw round, qualified for the finals. There were 17 teams. They whittled down 8 for the third round. In the ski jumping from the final. And then we had the men's Manobab. Heat in the regular season, in like their World Cup, in like their season, like their bobsled season, where they travel to different bobsledding courses like around the world and compete. They only have two runs per competition. But in the Olympics, they have 2 days in the World Championships and Olympic competition. They do 4 heats in the women's monobob and bobsled. So, and we have the super team. And then we had Robin's session 8 sheet A with the United States 7-2 over Italy, Korea, South Korea 10-9 over China, Switzerland 10-6 over Great Britain, and Canada 9-6 over Japan. Let's actually take a look at the men round robin standings as well. And then there's ski jumping. The final round got scrubbed. There was 3 competitors left, but they were keep taking time. The judges in FIS, the judges, were like having a leaf blow and like blow snow off every time, and they were deemed unsafe conditions. So they're like, well, they used to be the men's super team where they had top 4. They had 4 jumpers per team, but then only 2 runs, and they scrubbed it, and they did to 2 jumpers and 3 runs. So more countries were competitive because you only had Austria, like Germany, Norway, that type of thing. But now you have more teams that are more up and coming because more countries can field 2 good runners. Field 2 good jumpers. I say runners, but 2 good jumpers. Most countries have. Most countries aren't 4 deep though. So I really like that, for like the World Cup season and for like the World Championships and like Olympics. I really like that they're going to do that format. It really makes it more exciting, And then we have the pair skiing, free skiing. Miura and Kahara from Japan, with the gold. From Georgia. Georgia's first ever medal in the Winter Olympics comes in pair skiing, in the free skiing for the pairs, as Burlava and Mitinkina from Georgia with the silver. And for Georgia's first ever Winter Olympic medal, and then Volodon and Hayes with the bronze in the free ski bigger final. It was moved to push back a couple hours, but it did end. And we had Megan Oldham from Canada got with the gold. Aileen from China with she was born in San Francisco, but has competed for China, and she's paid. I think she is paid a bunch by China to compete for her, to get they would get her dual citizenship, and she would compete for China. So that I know she makes a lot of endorsement deals and stuff like that, like through figure skiing or through free skiing. So I think she makes like $24 million a year. So that's definitely a full-time job for her, but or maybe she has heritage, family heritage. So there's some way they ended up letting her compete for China, like Chinese citizenship, stuff like that. Dual citizenship should be due. And Flora Tabellini from Italy win the bronze. And then in Manobab, two United States studs get in. We have Elena Myers-Taylor with the gold, and then Laura Nolte with the silver for Germany, and then Kelly Armbuster Humphreys with the bronze, and then Canada 2-1 win over Switzerland. Then we had United States, and then we had women's round robin curling. I'm just looking at I'm just picking the random game, and the round robin standings. We have a few games on tomorrow. We have the men have 2 games tomorrow. They do. The men have 2 sessions tomorrow, and then they have a session on Wednesday in the middle session, and then they have the morning session Thursday. And then they have the semifinals after the evening session on Thursday. And then the bronze medal game is that evening session Friday. And the gold medal game is the evening session Saturday. And then the women's curling will be the afternoon, will be the semifinals for the women. Will be the afternoon session for the women. And Friday, and then the bronze medal will be the afternoon session for the women, and then the afternoon session. Actually, it'll be the morning session because the closing ceremonies. So I have a little bit earlier, but there'll be the gold medal on the 22nd, the final day of the Olympics. So let's take a look at the results. So, the round robin standings, we have Switzerland at 5-0 in first with 5 games played, 6 games played. Canada 5-1, Norway 4-2, United States 4-2. Great Britain has already played 7 games. They're 4-3. Then Germany 3-3, Italy 3-3 in sixth, and then China 1-5, Sweden 1-5, and Czechia 1-6. So Czechia is eliminated from the playoff. They cannot make the playoff. Czechia cannot make the playoff. Their best they can be is 3-6. Sweden, they can go to 4-5. So could China, but I don't see China making it, or Sweden. So they're pretty long shots. So and then the men, and then the women's curling. We have 6 games for everyone. We have Sweden 6-0 in first, Korea, Switzerland, and United States in that order 4-2, and then Canada, Denmark 3-3 in fifth, and then China and Great Britain in that order 2-4, and then Italy and Japan in that order 1-5 Italy and Japan. Italy stunned the United States today. But they just had the game of their lives, and like Italy and the United States didn't play as well, forced them into tough shots. It's just hard to play, You have a team that's just hot, on the edge, playing hot, nothing to lose really. Home nation. I don't see, then I don't see like Italy, Japan making it. They have to be 4-5 or 4-5. No, I don't see that. Because you got Korea, Switzerland, United States. You got China, Great Britain. It could be 5-4. I mean, that could happen in theory. That could. But do I see it happening? Yes and no. And then we have the qualifying. Or for the men, round robin. Session 9. We have Sweden, Switzerland, Sweden, United States, China, Czechia, Germany. That's at 9:05 a.m. in Italy. And then the Nordic combine, the individual. We have the Nordic combine for the men. The only Nordic combine is the only sport where it's men only. They have no women's Nordic combine. It's like the normal hill, large hill, and then you do ski, and you do ski jumping, and you do cross country skiing. And it's the large hill, individual, large hill, and jumping first. Then they do the 10-kilometer ski later. And there's you have a jump, you have the jumping, the trial round, and then you have the competition on jumping. And then that's at 9:10 is a qualifying. And then the 10 is the competition round. And then the free skiing, we have the women's aerials qualifying. That's going to start at 10:45. And the men's qualification playoff is going to be for men's hockey, it's the first round. Top 12 make it. We have, there's 12 teams make it tournament, but 5 through 12 make it to the tournament. Winners from each group make it, and then the best second place team. And the other, are seeded 5 through 12 based on point. They'll get a bye to the quarters. And that's Germany, France, Switzerland, Italy at 12:10. And then a snowboard slopestyle. The snowboard slopestyle starts at 1 p.m. And then starting at 1:30 p.m. is the men's aerials qualifying round 1. And then the individual large hill and the cross country skiing. That's at 1:45 p.m. The cross country skiing part. And then men's round robin session 9 is Sweden, Canada, Italy, Japan, Denmark, United States, Korea, Switzerland. That's at 1:05 p.m. And then at 1, and then at at 8:30, or that's 8 a.m. Eastern time, but in Milan, in Italy, it's 2:30. It'll be 2:30 in Milan. So as the men's 4x7.5 kilometer relay and biathlon, that'll start then. And then the men's team pursuit, the semifinals for the men will be at 2:30 p.m. and then 2:52 for the women. And then we have the team pursuit finals, it's DC, then the men and women, and then the B final and the A final. Both award medals. The final B will be for the bronze medal. Final A is for the gold medal. And that'll be at 10:22 or 3:22 for the. No, that'll be at 4:22 for the men. 4:22, 4:28, and then 4:41 and 4:47 for the women. And then the men's qualification path, Czechia, Denmark, starts at 4:40 p.m. And then the women's single skiing shorts program, that'll be at 6:45, And the two-man bobsled, the third heat will start at 7 p.m. And 7:05 p.m. Germany, Switzerland, United States, Italy, Canada, Great Britain, Sweden, Norway. And then the freeski big air final, that'll be at 7:30 p.m. And then the final heat of the two-man bobsled will be at 9:05 p.m. And then at 9:10 p.m. we have the men's qualification playoff, the final game of the men's qualification playoff. Because the quarterfinals will be on Wednesday, and then the finals for the women will be Thursday. The bronze and the gold. And then Friday will be the semifinals for the men's hockey. And then Sunday will be the finals of the men's bronze medal game on Saturday. And then Sunday will be the gold medal game for men's hockey.